Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so in this video, I want to teach you something when it comes down to gaps. There are three types of gaps that generally happen in the markets that gives you a bit of an indication of what it's likely to be. Now there's a breakaway gap, which simply means it's to be. Let me do this here. All right, so we have one, it's a breakaway gap. So breakaway, that's okay. One, a breakaway gap. Two, a continuation gap. So the breakaway gap generally happens at the start of a move. A continuation gap, that happens in the middle of the move. And number three, an exhaustion gap. You'll be able to see this. This happens after the market has been moving in that direction for quite some time. So an exhaustion gap. So one, a breakaway gap. Two, continuation gap. Three, an exhaustion gap. And you'll be able to see these gaps happen in the markets, right? So we're looking at Apple here right now, okay? And I'm just going to use Apple as an example because it's got a lot of nice gaps here, right? So if we look at this last leg up through here, what do we have here, right? So we have, see this gap through here? So that was some sort of breakaway gap, right? Because it broke away, came down, and then we had another gap. What was this here? A continuation gap. And then the market continued, and then we had a little gap through here. It was a little gap up through there. That was more like an exhaustion gap. It wasn't a big gap, but that's an exhaustion gap. So let's have a look at it. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but you'll be able to see, okay, if we have a gap right now, where are we? Are we at the start of a move? Has it been moving in that direction for just a little bit, or have it been going for a while? Or has there been three gaps? So for example here, right, we had this gap through here on Apple. See that gap through there? There's a bit of a gap going on through there. That was what? That was a breakaway gap, right? Because it was at the start of the move. Then we had what? Another gap through here. That was a continuation gap. It was continuating. And then look at this here, exhaustion gap. See how it's at the end of the move? And then the market turned around and gave us a gap here. What is this one here? It's a breakaway gap. Then it gave us another gap through here, which was a continuation gap. And this gap through here, as you can see, gapped up and then basically did nothing for this day here. So if you're looking at this here, like, oh, look, not only have we been going up for quite some time, but we've had one gap here and that went up. Then we had another gap here and then that continued and we've been going up in this direction for quite some time. And then we have another gap. Guess what that last gap is likely to be? Especially if we've just been going up pretty much like that. It's likely to be what? An exhaustion gap. So therefore it's sort of like the end of trend, right? And you can see what I mean here. You see how the market has been going down for quite some time, and the exhaustion gap, where it's one last gap and then gets people short, and then it goes up. One last gap, and then the market goes up, right? So, and then we have this gap through here. So this gap right here is likely to be what? A breakaway gap. So we'll just see what comes next. But if we get another gap here, it's likely to be a continuation gap. So this is not set in stone all the times, but whenever you're looking at the markets and we just see a gap, ask yourself, what type of gap is it? Now, if it's a massive gap, like a real big massive gap, that's more like a news announcement, right? So if you see Apple here and then suddenly Apple opens up here and you've got this big massive gap through here, that's an announcement. That's not a continuation, a breakaway, or even exhaustion gap, right? It's just an announcement, and don't class it as anything. But if we see a small gap like we see through here, then now you know that whenever you're reading the markets, reading the charts, ask yourself, what type of gap is it? Hey traders, thanks for watching my YouTube video. You know that there's a lot of areas in the trading arena, right, for you to become a good trader, right? There's the trading systems, there's the chart reading strategies, there's the foundations, the mindset, and there's so many areas, right, you need to really understand in order for you to become a good trader. So that's what I've created, the Master Trader Lab. I put everything in there for you to become a really, really good trader, and I'm giving you a free trial. So if you go to mastertraderlab.com and you can grab a free trial to this and start learning the chart reading strategies, the trading systems, the mindset, so much more in there, and start to learn the skills to become what I call a master trader. So go to mastertraderlab.com.